Thank you very much. Thank you. My name is Christiana Fomenky. I'm a Cameroonian judge, but I currently work as crime prevention and criminal justice officer in the justice section of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, specifically the regional office for West and Central Africa, which is located in Dakar, Senegal. I want to talk about a special initiative of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes, which I will from henceforth just call UNODC. It's a Liaison Magistrate initiative to foster international cooperation in trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes is the only UN entity that is focusing on the criminal justice response to trafficking in persons. It has a specific mandate to assist states in enhancing their national responses, as well as to foster international cooperation to counter trafficking in persons in line with international standards. As the custodian of trafficking in persons protocol and the smuggling of migrants, UNODC's mandate is to promote the states' adherence to these instruments and to assist them in implementing their provisions. I would like to precise here that UNODC has a very broad mandate. It has a mandate to keep the world free from drugs, crimes, and terrorism. And it operates in all the regions. But here today, I will just be concentrating on what it does in human trafficking and migrants smuggling. It has been operating in West and Central Africa for 20 years, and it covers 22 states, and is supported in its mission by 9 sub-offices. It has recognized expertise in combating trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants as a result of its experience in providing technical assistance to the states through the following actions. It strengthens legal frameworks, public policies and national strategies. It builds capacity for criminal justice stakeholders. It supports assistance to victims of trafficking and smuggled migrants, in particular through civil society organizations. It raises awareness, it does research, and it strengthens national coordination and international cooperation networks. I'm sure most of you are familiar with what UNODC is doing in your countries. To achieve this, UNODC has developed technical tools. A lot of countries are already using these tools for criminal justice practitioners, including training manuals on trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants. It has model laws on both offenses, tools for awareness raising. These tools have been designed with experts in these fields. It has also published several reports and studies on trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants in the region. It contributes to activities of coordination platforms of various UN agencies involved in trafficking in persons, particularly the IOM. It is currently providing legislative assistance in Mali. UNODC has already helped many countries to develop their laws in trafficking in persons. In 2012, it worked with Mali to develop its law. It's developing implementing regulations in Niger. In Chad, it has been supporting the government through legislative assistance that brought to the adoption of a law in 2018. It has also worked in Nigeria to support the adoption of the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition, Enforcement and Administration Act of 2015. Furthermore, it has worked with the training institutes for police, gendarmerie, and magistrates in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and many countries. The list is long, I could not put all here. In 2013, UNODC established WACAP, that's the West African Network of Central Authorities and Prosecutors, a network of focal points of the 15 ECOWAS countries, plus Mauritania and Chad, to promote mutual legal assistance. She just talked of mutual legal assistance here, and networks amongst prosecutors in different countries, and develop a regional strategy to facilitate the prosecutions of persons involved in transnational organized crime. Now, WACAP promotes mutual legal assistance. We've been teaching the countries how to make mutual legal assistance requests, which most countries did not know how to do, review the implementation of relevant conventions and on mutual legal assistance and extradition, and develop a regional strategy to facilitate prosecution of persons involved in organized crime. Now, the Liaison Magistrate is a pilot initiative to foster international cooperation against trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants. This is because the West African country is facing crisis when it comes to transnational organized crimes, and international cooperation is important. Why? Because of the different legal systems, the different legal languages. If prosecutors and judges do not work or cooperate internationally to fight this, no one country on its own can succeed in this scourge. That's why international cooperation is very, very important, and that's why we are developing the Liaison Magistrate Initiative. It has its ground in Article 18 of the United Nations Convention on Transnational Organized Crime. It aims to strengthen international judicial cooperation to tackle tip and some through deployment of liaison magistrates. What we are doing is deploying magistrates from Africa, some African countries to European countries, so they can work together when it comes to the different systems on fighting trafficking in persons. It contributes to the achievement of the recommendation 10 of the Niamey Declaration. There was a declaration that there should be international cooperation in the fight. It is in line with engagements taken by Italy and West African Network of Central Authorities and Prosecutors. There is an agreement already existing between Italy and WACAP to send magistrates to Italy, and it is a component of a joint UNODC Human Rights Promise Project, which is sponsored by the Netherlands and Italy, on the exchange of operational information on smuggling of migrants. What is the role of the Liaison Magistrate? Provides legal and practical advice to authorities of the two countries about their respective legal and procedural requirements, since they're always different. For example, the one of Italy is different from the one of Nigeria, but we have now put a Nigerian magistrate in the Italy Ministry of Justice, who is working together in the area of prosecution of trafficking cases, to activate direct line of communication between the national central authorities, particularly when it comes to mutual legal assistance request. The two authorities, Italy, Nigeria, or whatever countries will be involved, need to work together. They need to be an open line of communication, which was not the case. to transfer files on organized crime cases from one country to another. That was a difficulty before. But with this Liaison Magistrate cooperation now, you can transfer files from Nigeria for prosecution in Italy and vice versa, to follow up on formal requests, mutual legal assistance requests and extradition requests submitted through the appropriate channels, and to provide relevant information on structure and modus operandi of criminal intercepts or networks in the region. Let's look at the first case that was dealt with by the Nigerian Liaison Magistrate that is deployed in Italy. What was the crime? It was trafficking in persons. The perpetrator was a Nigerian, the victim was a Nigerian, the requesting authority was the Nigerian Central Authority, and the receiving authority was the Casina Prosecution Office. And what was the request? They needed the Casina Office to take statements from the victim who had been trafficked to Italy. I just heard the case of Blessing, and I was saying these are the kind of cases where such cooperation is needed. Results achieved. As of now, there have been 4 liaison magistrates deployed. There are 35 cases ongoing, including 29 on tip and 6 on sum. There is a request for extradition and 25 mutual requests that's sent. Several investigations are ongoing now. There are direct channels of communication created. There is better understanding of respective legal, institutional, and procedural frameworks, and trust has been built between the countries. Lessons learned, pre-deployment stakeholder meetings. You need to hold meetings and communication to arrange these deployments, and domestic cooperation and coordination are key to successful international cooperation and follow up on the ongoing cases, both on the side of the deploying and the hosting country. So we recommend an adoption of a long-term perspective in the selection of an assignment of liaison magistrates. We are encouraging several other West African countries to follow the example of Nigeria and Italy. There are requests already from Libya, from Spain. I think we've already deployed one to Spain, and there are other requests pending. We need to develop best practice brief on the transfer and proceeds of these magistrates. So the 2 Nigerians deployed, there's one in Rome at the DNA and in Madrid at the Ministry of Justice. Both deployments are envisaged to continue until June 2020. Discussions are ongoing with Niger, Sudan, and Libya for possible deployment of new liaison magistrates from those countries to Italy. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. This is particularly interesting to us because the WHO task force against organ trafficking, represented here by Dr. Asher and Dr. Miller, was actually looking for a liaison officer within UNODC to whom they could report cases of organ trafficking to be investigated on the ground. So maybe you can connect later.
Okay.
Thank you.